Hello and welcome to another day of Dash Society. Today we're going to be looking at the mounting code. In our previous video, I created the mounting code for the horses, so when the player comes up to the horse and presses E, they'll mount the horse. And today we'll be dealing with these two horses in the pen, and they're two different type of horses, two different type of personalities. This is the Excited Appy, and this is the dominant trait. So we'll go deal with those two horses in code. So I'm going to show up the mounting act. Well, this activates when the player presses E when they're near a horse that they can mount. And now, this is from a previous video. We typed out all these variables and if statements with the mount loop. So I'll go over it real quick right now so you know what's going on. First, it checks if the status if you're actually mounting. If we're not, we gotta get out of there. This tells a horse not to move at all, so stay still, which is pretty useful. You don't want the horse to run off on you when you're trying to mount it. And this is the mount loop. Gives you the timing of a loop as the horse gets mounted, so you can see the little dots on the speaking. So this starts to speak. This is the horse speak. So horses are actors in the game. They're actors playing as a horse. So that kind of makes it easier to deal with them when, some strange things happen and you need the horse to do something something the actor would do to get in position. So just to keep that in mind. So when the mounting loop reaches 90 or above, it changes its status to mounted and it activates the mount act. So from a short little 2-3 second function that lasts for 2-3 seconds, the horse starts the loop. Yeah, right here. Mounts when it finishes the loop, or whichever you call it. It puts the loop back to 0, the loop variable, and changes status to mounted. So what we're going to do, we're going to take in account of the horse's personality. So let me show the horse's personality in the horse profiles. So I'll activate the server, and then I'll go here. And we'll check out the Appy. The Appy is empathy of 8, social 9, excitement. Okay, this is the one we'll focus on now, is the excitement of 8. So this horse is very excited, very excited horse. There's something to do with that. But their dominance is pretty low, so they're not going to be pushy or fight you or anything. But they could be aggressive and a little bit of intelligence. So that's the excited Appy. We go over here to the I'll call this horse the trach. It's just easier than try to pronounce the whole entire word. This horse has a dominant of 9. So this horse is pretty dominant, even compared to the other horses. So this horse would be pretty dominant in a herd. But that dominance in a herd would be a big problem when we go to mount the horse. So currently, when we mount the horse, this is what happens. So you can see it in action. Remember, this is all real time. We go here, the little dots come around, and we're mounted. And we're riding the horse. And we stop, we go there. We go back again, mounting the horse. So it does not take the horse's personality into account. So this is what we're going to try to do, is get the horse personality into account. Same thing with the excited Appy over here. Excited Appy is grazing. We mount the horse, dots, and we're mounted. So while we're mounting, go over here. While we're mounted to the horse, we can't move, we can't get the horse to do anything until we finish mounting. Just something to keep in mind when we're dealing with code, that this is what been happening straight since the beginning of the game, except the mounting part. You get on the horse and you get off. Okay, so we know what the horses do right now. So what happens when you take in the excitement? Well, to me, the excitement means the horse is not going to stay still when you mount the horse. So that means the appy would probably move when you're mounting the horse in their own little way. So right here it says speed equals 0. We go back to the mounting act. We're going to say if you're this, now this is the excitement function. The reason why it's not a variable instead of a function is because it can be modified depending on the horse. It can be changed over time instead of just being one number the entire lifetime of the horse. So I'll show you what I mean. I'll go down and we go to the excitement function. It takes the current excitement or the excitement that at birth plus the modifier excitement. So it returns these two numbers added together to make the excitement stat. So the horse can change the excitement using the mod excitement. It's a very cool thing to learn and to use in game. So players could teach their horses not to be so excited. So the excited horse could be less excited and not so jumping up the line. So we're going to go here and say if you are greater or equal to 5, because the horse is excited. This is why the horse is being mounted. We're going to say speed equals to 50. And of course, first thing we need to do up here is just to make it a little easier. We set the angle to 0, and that tells us that we're mounting. It's just an idea. I'll show you why in a second. So if this angle is the same thing as 0, we want to set the angle using a random number. Otherwise, we'll be changing the angle every time the horse is calling the mounting act, and they call it every probably 20 times a second, maybe. So we want the angle to be 1 to 300. That way, it will only set the angle once, then hold mounting act. So if the angle is 0, and we set the angle here, oh, of course. This is the first time we call that mounting act. It's going to mess up. Here's a better idea. Mount loop is the same thing as 0. Maybe I should do it that way instead of saying the angle to 0. Yeah, that's a better idea. Takes a while to write the right code. Okay. When we know when our excitement's above 5, we set our speed to, let's just set it at a constant rate for right now. We know this is the first time we call the mount loop when it sits at 0, because it resets every time. Since we know it's the only time we call, we set the angle to a random direction because this is an excited horse, and a excited horse wants to move. And so the excited horse will pick a random angle and will move the whole entire duration of the mounting function, mounting act. So let me restart this over and we'll see this in action. Let's go. Sorry about that, I clicked the wrong button. So we go over here and we'll see this in action. So let's go see what happens when we mount the Excited Appy, and we'll see what the Appy does. So we go over here. So previously, when we mounted the Excited Appy, or this dominant trait, the horse did not move, and we did the mounting act. So what happens when we do this now? Oh, no change. Oh, okay. That's right, because I set the speed to 0, so we need to fix that. So nothing happened right now. So let's go back and figure out why it didn't work. Speed to 0. Let's put down an else. Because any other horse was not going to move. Dominant horse would do something completely different. Alright, let's go back again and try it out. Alright, Excited Appy. Let's see if this works. Oh, that's right. I forgot. If you want the horse to move when they're in the function, you're going to have to make the horse tell the horse to move using the actual move function. How did I forget that? You gotta know your own code. So, right here, we need to say this dot move, and that tells the horse to move. It helps having that control over when exactly something moves. Oops. So let's do this again. We go into the Excited Appy, go into her. Yep, her. It's a mare. We go up to her, we press E, and she moves when we're trying to mount her. So this horse is pretty excited. We can get her to stop. Let's mount her again, see what happens. Same thing. She moves when she's mounted. So let's go to the dominant trait and see what happens with him. He's a stallion. He does not move at all. So that is basically the horse's personality in action. And I hope you enjoyed this little video on just one simple little thing. Okay, there you go. He's moving now. But we mount him again. He doesn't move. And we get off. And then we mount the mare. And she moves. All right, this is nice. I'll probably do a part 2 video, and we'll look into more the dominant part of the horse. Like if a dominant horse would not want to be mounted, or will refuse to mount, or refuse to stand still when you're trying to mount, or leave you on the ground. So that's probably be looking at that in a part 2 video. Thank you for watching.